One-foot-flipper.
All right, it's Friday morning and I'm headed to the Goodwill outlet, or the bins as everybody calls them. I no longer try to get there early to wait in the line because I don't think that really adds me any advantage. I'm just too slow getting in. By the time I actually get my cart and everything else, everybody's already in place anyway, so now I just try to time it to get there 2 minutes after they open. Then I can just roll right in, get a cart, and start right away, and also not waste any of my time waiting in that line to no advantage. Because time is money, people. Alright, I got a dicey thing here. Because I don't know if this is my last video, but I am selling like a normal reseller again. Death Mile is gone except for a few stragglers. Every time I go downstairs, I try to look for stragglers. Get a couple of those listed. Last night I only found one, so that is good. Sales are still in the dumpster, but let's hope that they will increase after I now have a regular sourcing schedule of new merchandise, and I'm not instead trying to sell stuff that's been in my store for years or the worst stuff from bulk buys from 3 years ago. Got a package just yesterday. We'll go ahead and open that now. Alright, it looks like I got a package to my super secret address that you can simply get by asking me for it. Let's see what it is. Of course, since I don't pack things upstairs here, I don't have box knives up here. So I'm opening it with a screwdriver, like an animal. Oh, there's bubble wrap. Somebody knows what they're doing. Alright, what do we got here? A lot of bubble wrap. And we got a bag. Very good packing here. A 5-inch around the neck mirror. This is actually something I can really use because I have mentioned both shaving blind and cutting my hair blind. Thank you. Wow, I got a long letter here. Okay, I can't read the whole thing on here because it's a page and a half, but this is from Scott Phillips, Show and Sell Picker. Hi Paige, I saw your recent video where you exposed your shaving accident, and I've enclosed something that just might help. Found it in a box of items I picked up at a local estate auction. Hopefully it will prevent future mistakes. Thank you so much, Scott. I'll have a link to Scott's channel and store and anything else down in the comments. Thanks again. If you ever want to send me anything, just send me a message on Instagram and I will send you the super secret mailing address. I always enjoy getting mail of any kind. Alright, we're almost to the bin, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this camera down. I'm going to go inside. I'm not going to film inside. I've never gotten any good footage inside of the Goodwill outlet because I'm from a wheelchair perspective, so it's just never anything good. So I don't bother, but we'll look at the stuff once I get it back. Alright, let's do some sales. Before I get started, I want to say I was so proud of my daughter today. My whole family went to the Goodwill outlet. My daughter found an emerald green Nintendo 3DS, among several other good things. Well, my wife will not look at the normal hard good bins at all. She will only look at the glass and the books. So she picked stuff that I didn't want, but overall, still did pretty good. I've already shipped it, so it's not up here on the screen. I sold some sort of G7 medical monitoring patch thing that eBay removed for policy violation after the sale. I had a feeling that it might be one of those type of items, but there's no laws or anything keeping people from selling that item. It's one of the ones that eBay preemptively decides that you probably shouldn't be selling, even though it's perfectly legal. That sold for $70. Sold this Batman hat for $6.22. I think I paid 50 cents for that one. I slightly remember where I got it from. Tupperware Ice Bucket, $3.93. Repeat buyer on a Tupperware item. That is weird because, I mean, they're not a viewer because there's no note. And I don't really sell a lot of Tupperware, so that's just one of those, yep, every once in a while you'll get the same person. 2 packs of Legion card dividers. You use these to divide up your segments of cards in your card boxes so you can flip the right section easily. There's 8 in each pack. $2.99 plus ship. Can I get full over? Inbox Nerf Indoor Golf, $33.94. I think this was a flea market item for $5. It could have been as low as $3. It could have been high as $10. Either way, I knew it was a sure thing when I bought it. Maybe I could check my records and actually find out what I paid for it. I don't remember if I marked that flea market down by the item or just one for the whole flea market. This is one of the starting teams in the 1991-ish second edition Blood Bowl board game. $33.87. These show up all by themselves sometimes out of the box sets because they sold many other figures you could use instead of the ones that came in the box set, and the other ones were prettier and they're metal and they're cooler and they had better statistics in the game, so sometimes the originals never got used. A 1966-1967 Bush St. Louis Hawks schedule, $39.84. This is the most expensive sports schedule I have ever seen. And this was, I believe, in a junk box of mixed cards. It was mostly sports cards that I got. I think this, I believe, was in a mixed box of Pokemon and sports cards that I picked up somewhere or another a couple of years ago. Didn't even realize it was valuable until very recently. This has a boring teacup inside it. It sold for $4.63. Also a repeat buyer. Oh no, is that the same person as... That's the same person who bought the Tupperware. Now I gotta combine and ship them. Would have been easier to ship them separately. I sold this Sony CMT BX1 Hi-Fi component system base thing, CD player. Sold for $31.50. I got this at the Goodwill bins. I probably, because of the weight, I probably paid $12 for it. But looking at I tested it there though, it worked. And looking at the sell-through rate on it, I knew it was a sure thing. So I didn't care that it wasn't 10x or even 3x. Sold a Warhammer Space Marine with a multi-melta, $12.11. Remember when rollerblading was a big deal? Everybody was blading all around. It was bodacious, and they made movies about it, like Roller Babies and Roller Boys. I'm pretty sure Corey Haim or Corey Feldman, or possibly both of them, were in one of those movies. Anyway, these are some Salomon hand sliders from that era. You'd put these on your hands so you could jump up in the air and put your hands on a rail and rail slide on your hands rather than on your rollerblades or your skateboard. And these are useless for skateboarding because how's the skateboard going to stick to your feet if both your hands are on the rail? Doesn't work. There were no comps for this. I kind of had to price guess it, and it got me $16.99. Took about 2 months to sell. All right, that's all the sales for now. I hope that you couldn't hear the washing machine in the background. It's going to be going the rest of the day, so I really didn't have much of a choice because it's Sunday afternoon, and this stuff has to ship out. All right, let's get back to that next segment. I heard it's pretty juicy. It's Monday morning. I am headed out to the Goodwill outlet.
1,000 feet, turn left onto North 3rd Street.
I was talking to a few of the guys in my little seller chat group last night, and I realized that I had never realized how much of an advantage it is to me that I live a 9-minute round trip, all highway, to my local Goodwill outlet. That is a really big advantage. I doubt many resellers live that close to their local outlet. You can't even live much closer than that to mine because it's at an exit that has no homes, and the exits on either side of it are rural, and then you got mine. So I'm about as close as you can get, which especially synergizes with the fact that I don't walk that well. I did go out to garage sales last weekend. I managed about 4 of them before my back and leg pretty much gave out. But I can source at the Goodwill bins in the wheelchair if I have to. So I guess I'm very blessed that this congruence...
370 east for 1 mile.
Very blessed that this congruence of locations works out for me as well as it does. And I've been going a lot because I finally burned through my death pile. Only took the entire length of my channel to do so. I still don't take any footage at the bins though. I can't get any good footage. Because I'm rolling down, I'm sitting down in a chair rather than standing. So the camera's just never pointed anywhere decent at all. You wonder why the nav keeps going off. Not that I don't know how to get to the Goodwill bins. I'm stopping at McDonald's. Yeah, I know, Paige, you're a big fat piece of crap. Anyway, the McDonald's on the way there, though, is tucked very strangely into this commercial area, and I often find myself making the wrong turn to try to find it. Well, by often, I mean I go there like twice a year, but I seem to make the wrong turn every time, so I'm using the nav.
Continue for 2 miles.
And then I hopefully won't make the wrong turn and pop out at the other highway. On our last trip to the bins, my daughter found a 3DS, Nintendo 3DS. That's 2 consoles we found in 1 week. Because I found a Nintendo 64 earlier this week. That may have featured somewhere else in the video. I'm not sure. Should I do haul videos of the stuff I bring back? What do you guys think about that? Or is it more interesting? Is it more interesting to actually see people pick it than to see it after the fact? You tell me, because I'm really not sure. I don't watch a lot of picking content myself anymore. I used to, but I don't now because I normally watch content while I work, and you can't just listen to picking content. You have to actually watch it because it's so visual. Well, I'm more of a listener these days, thus I tend to listen to flipping content. Among other things. I follow a lot of science people and some Dungeons and Dragons people as well. And my guilty pleasure is videos of entitled Karens getting arrested. But I don't listen to a lot of that. Because really it's just a lot of screaming. And a lot of, screaming and do you know who I am? And I own this town and yada yada yada. Right now I'm in what's called Earth City. It's it's an all-industrial area right near the Missouri River. I specifically picked my house to be as close as possible to Earth City because I previously worked in a hotel here when I got married and bought my house. And a year and a half later, no longer did, even though I'd worked there my whole adult life. It was going under, and it went through a series of management changes, and finally I was the only original member of management left when the newest change came, and they axed me as well. Still have the sign up, the manager on duty sign up from the bar on my bar though.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Rider Trail South.
I got to salvage the manager on duty sign at one point from the place because they did a name change. Thus, I have the one from the old name, Wingate Inn, up on my bar. Wingate Inn no longer exists. Wingate by Wyndham exists now. It's not very interesting. It's just business class. Or basically nice rooms, but no room service. So I'm back into a 100% regular workflow now. Get up every day. First thing I do is I launch 15% of my drafts. I launch the 5% of oldest, the 5%
in a
of
quarter
cheapest,
mile, turn right,
and the 5% of most expensive. Then I take everything that's ending that day and I sell it similar into drafts. Because I'm mixing up, my drafts are both a mixture of the newest stuff that I make, list, because I list everything to drafts, and items that have been there over 30 days that are getting marked down. Because when an item is about to end that day, instead I end it, mark it down to 3%, and launch it in, and chuck it into drafts. So it'll come back out a few days to a week later, cheaper. And that tends to that will fix all pricing problems long
Your
term.
destination is on the left.
Unless you have something that's ridiculously expensive that literally loses all value, then you could take many years to fix the pricing problem then. Well, while I was sitting here, I reached my long-term YouTube goal. I passed Old School Picker in subscriptions as I was sitting here. One of my early videos took back off early this morning and started getting a ton of views and bringing subs again, and such that every time I checked it, my sub count was going up. And voila, while I ate my breakfast sandwich here, checked it afterwards, and I had surpassed Chris, Old School Picker. Now, Chris did retire from YouTube about 6 months ago, but he was one of my biggest initial inspirations of YouTube, because all the videos that I was watching at the time, he did them all in his shed. He wasn't going out and doing any picking or anything else, and I thought, if he can do that and stay in one location, I can do that and stay in one location. Hey, Chris, if you're watching, which I don't think you ever watched me, but if you are watching, thanks so much for the inspiration that you've given me. All right, I'm going to head out to the bins now. Hey, if you've made it this far, why don't you hit that subscribe button? I haven't came up with a new goal yet, but the subs are still basically what I'm in it for, because it's not like I can drive a motorcycle anymore. So just please help me out with that if you can. Now, this next part is really just going out to ADH Dave. Dave, what are you doing? You spent many thousands of dollars to get a storage container filled up with excellent merchandise, and now you just had a garage sale where you're just kind of giving it all away? I don't understand that at all, Dave. So then you're just going to give it all away, what you paid for it or less, and then you're just going to go buy more? What's going on there? Please explain it to me in your next video, if you can. And I think that's about all I've got for today, so thanks for making it to the end, and I hope to see you again soon.
See, that's One Foot Flipper's nonsense video.